Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video I will be doing a review on the Warrior heat gun. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit of an unusual kind of review because I ended up needing the heat gun ASAP, so I ended up actually getting rid of the box and instructions. But I will go over it real quick. So, in the box, all you had was a cellophane wrap that went over the actual heat gun itself. And then you were also given instructions. I read through the instructions thoroughly. There is a great deal of safety saying such things as this gets greatly hot, do not try to grab after use, do not point towards animals or plants or children or anything of a dangerous nature. Besides that, this was also a huge thing that I was just reading through one of the sections, stated that this is for 120 only. So if you were to try to hook this up to a 220 circuit, it would actually cause damage to the unit, and it may cause damage to your actual wall outlet. If you were to decide to try to adapt this over to 220, this is a 120 only product for what it can do for power. Now the unit itself has a 3-position switch, so in its flat state it is in the off position. If you click up, it is its low setting, and if you click down, it is its high setting. So I'll give you kind of an idea real quick on the noise that this puts out. So off position, low setting, high setting. And you can kind of see inside of there, it gets hot pretty quickly and it puts out a pretty decent amount of heat. Now this unit has numerous things that you can do with it. Just having a heat source that is able to be plugged into a wall and or generator is wonderful for numerous things. One of the main things being heating and melding plastic. So if you're working at all in the automotive industry, working with trying to remove decals off of a vehicle, off of the hood or interior, or if you're trying to reform some kind of melted or slightly bent piece of plastic inside of a vehicle, this is great for the automotive industry. This is also greatly used in household projects, similar basis, melding and moving of plastic. You can also use this for any other heat gun application. There are chemicals that are heat treated and will actually activate under heat. This will work great for that. There is circumstances and situations with glass that you will also want to use heat. So that is another application for why you would want such an item as this. My reason for getting it was I had a few things with plastic. I do work with cars a lot, but at the time what I needed it for was working with EVA foam, which if you do not know what EVA foam is, it is a high density foam that can be heated and it can take the form of something as well as it is able to be cut, and you can either use hot glue, super glue, contact cement to meld it together to make different types of costumes or cosplay. Most notably right here is the actual collar piece for my jacket that I have been working on for a cosplay for the game Cyberpunk 2077. So as you can see in the back here, it says Samurai, and it has the logo on the back that my wife was nice enough to put on there for me. I've been working on this jacket quite a lot. It's kind of taken a halt for a second just because we have passed Halloween, so I will continue to work on it, but it has LEDs in the collar. That is why it is white, so that way the LEDs will shine through and be diffused. I will be working on a couple of different additional items to this said jacket, as well as I will be working with EVA foam in the future as well. The prior product that I reviewed was the heavy-duty hot knife. Similar basis and reason for getting it. This is also a wonderful tool And there will be a link below to this, or just on my channel as well. My prior video was of a review of this, so if you are looking at potentially purchasing a hot knife, this is a wonderful product as well. Good old Harbor Freight Central Machinery brand, or that's actually a Chicago Electric. My apologies. But back to the heat gun at hand. I use this quite a bit to be able to form the high density foam into what I needed it to be. My wife has also used this same product. It wasn't actually this heat gun, it was a friend of mine's. He had the same one. And what she used it for was she had ordered glasses off of one of those websites where you can put in your prescription and then order just the frames and get the glasses and such sent to your door. She had had 2 sets arrive. The first set came in twisted, so she said, hey, these are twisted, and talked to them. And they ended up sending her a second pair at no additional charge. The second set was as well additionally twisted. So her and the friend ended up actually heating and bending those said glasses back into formation. And that was just a practical application and something that worked amazingly well. So for my applications, and this being something that is going to be worked with a home DIY as well as just crafts in general, this product is wonderful. This was a $14.99, I believe, on sale. Normally roughly around $20 is what these go for at good old Harbor Freight. So that is the general price point for the product. I feel like this is more than worth the purchase of it. You will find multiple applications that you had no idea that you will end up using this for, and just needing an additional scent of heat. This will also work great to defrost a freezer, all sorts of applications in which you just need to be able to have a pinpoint of heat in either a moderate or in a mild amount of heat being blasted, essentially, for a BTU out of the unit. I do not actually have the specs on the BTU for what does come out of here, but I do know that I can tell you from firsthand, this thing gets hot, and it definitely puts out a lot of heat. If you were to hold your hand in front of it, you can probably only do a few seconds on the high end without it immediately starting to burn your hand. So this puts out a great deal of heat, which is great for all sorts of applications. So in the construction industry, there's a few applications that it would be great to have one. It's kind of few and far between. As I said, with automotive would be a great situation in which you may find yourself needing to heat, bend, and move plastic without stabbing it or breaking it. And also just being able to bend back plastic the way it was before. That is one of the applications I use it for and would greatly suggest it. When it comes to DIY projects or just crafting in general, it is a wonderful heat gun for a multitude of applications, such as with the high density foam or EVA foam that I have purchased it for. And it is just a general all-around good tool to kind of have in your cabinet for pretty cheap. For $15 to $20, it is a wonderful product just to have on hand when you never know you might need it type deal. So I would say this is definitely a great buy. Warrior is a really good brand for just kind of that in-between. It's not going to be your absolute professional, and it's not going to be your absolute bottom of the rung garbage tool that you're just going to throw away, you know, hyper tough. In some instances, for some of their corded tools, seem to be kind of in that line of you use it every once in a while and then you get rid of it if you decide to go higher grade on it, or if you decide to go more enthusiast grade. That's something you would upgrade from pretty quickly. This tool does not feel like it fits in that category. It fits like above that category, I feel. The build quality of it is actually quite sturdy. It is plastic on the outside with a metal tube on the inside and a metal chassis on the inside of that to help disperse the heat, so that way it doesn't melt the plastic in any regard. Using this for quite a few hours on the EVA foam, I will say this plastic did not get super hot. The metal tube itself did get absolutely red hot and will hold heat quite a long time after use. So do keep that in mind, that if you are heating up something and then setting this down, you're not putting that end to plastic or against something in your house that you're worried about scorching, burning, or melting, because this will retain a great deal of heat after the unit is turned off. In fact, even just from that little turn on a moment ago, there is still some warmth for sure on the tip, and that was just a few seconds. So hopefully that has been a kind of quick synapse or review that will help you in your decision whether to purchase, and or if it is something you feel you may need for your tool cabinet, for the Warrior heavy duty heat gun. Had a brain fart there for a second. But like I said, out of a lot of the products, this one doesn't feel super chintzy. It doesn't feel like it's going to snap in my hand just in use. It feels quite durable. I do feel a couple drops are perfectly fine. If I was to be a couple stories up dropping it onto concrete, that's a different situation. It is plastic, but I do feel if it is to be knocked around in a closet, or if it is something that's knocked around in a garage, it would work just fine, and the cable on it feels quite nice and heavy duty for what it is. And its total length as well, I forgot to mention, is 6 foot. So you have a 6 foot cord, which is pretty decent to be able to reach most places that you will need to with the heat gun. That being said, you can still use extension cables, and it is a 2-prong, so you don't necessarily have to worry about some of the older house wiring. This will still require the 120, so if your house wiring is not able to produce a proper current of 120, you may have difficulty using the item or tripping your breaker. So, as a side note for you. But that is all that I have to say on the Warrior heat gun. It is a wonderful product. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and hit that like button. It helps me out greatly. If you enjoy the channel so far and want to get more content, make sure and hit that subscribe button. Costs you nothing, but gives you the ability to know each and every time I put content out there. If you want notifications each and every time that I upload, make sure and hit the notification bell. That'll give you the ability to know each and every time a video comes out. So thank you all so very much, and have yourself a wonderful day.